Hi everyone. Hello guys. Good afternoon. I am Giovanna Hayashi. I used to study at Magno, but I graduated last year. I'm here to talk about some important situations that we're living, because of the whole pandemic situation. And most specifically, we're going to talk about education and many obstacles that almost 2 billion students are facing constantly. And there are some people that we want to talk to. So I'm going to start calling some students around the world. And I want just a little introduction. I want to know you guys. Maybe I could start with Laura from Spain. Just talk about like where you live and where you study, and then we're gonna start some conversation.
Hi, I'm Laura from Madrid, which is the capital. And I study at Hastings School, which is a British school. I have 3 brothers. I have a big family. And yeah, I don't know, in my free time, I like to hang out with my friends, which isn't really an option right now. And yeah, I don't know, read.
Okay, thank you, Laura. I really enjoy reading too. I want to talk to Marcos, maybe.
Hello, my name is Marcos Alves. I am from Santarém. I live in Santarém. I am 16 years old. I'm in 11th grade, and I have a family with a father, a mother, and one brother.
Okay, thank you, Marcos. Matilde, please.
Hi, I'm Matilde. I'm 17, and I'm also from Santarém, just like Marcos. And what can I say about myself? I'm a water polo player, and I also really enjoy reading.
Thank you. And Manu. She's from Brazil. She's my friend.
Hi, I'm Manuela. I'm from Brazil. I also study at Magno. I am actually on my last year now, and I hopefully graduating this year.
Thank you, guys. I think we can start talking about the real talk. We need to start the conversation about all the obstacles, and I want to know what you guys think that has changed. Maybe about the education, maybe about other things, and there's another person that I want to talk to, and she's Malvina from Luxembourg. So, please, where is she?
Hi, I'm Malvina. I'm 15. I'm from Luxembourg. I'm British and Spanish. And I have 2 sisters.
Thank you, Malvina. So I think you could start talking about the whole situation, like how has it been for you guys? What are you doing about the study situation? How do you, manage your time with classes, and what are the obstacles and problems?
Well, currently I'm back at school properly, so going back at school, everybody is back at school. And it's a bit hard sometimes to know oh, should I go out? Should I do this? You're not sure if it's safe. I mean, for the most part, I try to just stay with the same people to make sure I'm not interacting with too many people. But I'm in a very large school, and the students change classes a lot in my school, so it's kind of difficult to avoid the interactions. And recently, there were quite a few cases in my school, and we're not sure what's going to happen with that. So I think everything's just a little bit uncertain, and just waiting to see what happens, which is a bit stressful, and the testing schedules are a bit like, tests are a bit weird now because they've changed schedules for things, and it's just a bit like of trial and error.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, because here in Brazil we are still, at home. We're taking classes at home, so it's kind of interesting to see other people from other places starting to live, normally, but there's like all of this fear and uncertainty, like you said. But it's kind of interesting because I don't know when I'm getting back, so I don't know. It's complicated. It's a difficult situation. And where is Marcos?
Hello, I'm here.
So how has it been, like in Portugal? How is everything going?
So here the things was going better when we came back to school, and well, of course, the schedules were all different, the breaks was different, and everything that we were used to live like became very different. Actually, the classes were more, how can I say, we were trying to make it better, of course, and the fact that we could not touch and could not feel the others was, and still is, very difficult. And we cannot hug, we cannot get too close from each other. We need to always wash our hands, and we need to be always wearing a mask. And that's, of course, very different for all of us. And yes, that's it. I think we are giving our best to still having the classes on school because we need that.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to ask if you guys are wearing masks and stuff. So Malvina, are you wearing masks
Yeah,
at school?
we have to wear them all the time. The only times we take them off is to eat, because we eat in
Yeah,
school. But
exactly.
and we have they introduced this new thing, which is like, they call them COVID counselors, I think, and they go around like making sure people are following the guidelines. So like social distancing as much as possible in the school, wearing the masks, like don't stand in the hallways for too long, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it would be really difficult for me, like to not hug someone that I really like. And I don't know, it's really different. It's
Yeah.
an idea, but as I'm not seeing anyone, it's more difficult, to imagine this whole situation. But what about Matilde?
So just like Marcus said, everything is very different than what we're used to. We have to be pretty cautious. We need to be careful with what we do, with who we are in contact with, because if there's the possibility that we are infected, we have to let everyone know to protect them and protect the people that they are involved with. And it's very different, but if everyone tries, I think we can do something good.
Yeah, did you guys had to stay at home too, like a really long time and use technology and stuff?
We
Yeah.
did. So we stayed at home from March to I came back to school in May, in the end of May, and I think Marcos only came in September.
Yes, it is. It was.
Oh, it's a big difference. Yeah, but I would like to hear some about
So
Laura
we
too.
had to come.
Oops.
It was interesting.
I think your internet just stopped a little bit.
Maybe. Okay.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
You can.
Do you want me to repeat?
Yes, please.
Okay. So what I was saying is that I had to come back earlier because in my year, so I was an 11th grader, we had to take national exams at the end of the year in July. And because of that, we had to come back to school. And yeah, we had to come back earlier, basically. So everyone was still at home and we had to come.
Yes, you're older than Marcos, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. You're thinking about college and stuff because I think it's really difficult, this whole situation, thinking about college and stuff. It's something more, you have to think about. So
Exactly.
I would like to hear something about Laura too. Maybe Manu. Where are them? Oh, she's there.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi kind of.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. It's okay.
Yeah, so for me, for example, in Spain, we were in a complete lockdown from March, so I didn't come back to school until September, and we had to work with technology, which I think kind of made us move, like become more modern. So like at school, for example, we need to use right now tablets because we can't touch each other's paper or pens and everything. So I think it's kind of new normality. We're not gonna go back to what was before COVID, and with masks and everything. For example, when we finish a class, we have like a spray, and we have to clean our desks because we are moving from class to class. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a new way of living.
Yeah, exactly. I think the human contact thing
Yeah.
is gonna change forever, like. So I didn't know about the iPads, You're actually using it at school, and I think I didn't know that this is happening. Is it happening in Luxembourg or Portugal too?
In Luxembourg, we aren't using tablets. We're just using papers. But like the teachers avoid touching other, like you avoid it as much as you can. And they started a new project this year, which was like it's optional to bring your own device. So some students are bringing computers and tablets, but for the most part, they're using their notebooks. The biggest thing is they're quite strict on like how close you get to people. So, for example, like if I walk too close to my friend in the hallway, they'll be like a meter distance, guys. So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Well, that's being the same around here. We are using paper as well, but with some rules. We can touch each other's things, each other's pens, pencils, papers, everything we can't. We cannot do that. Also, the teachers cannot come too close of us. They need to stay in the front of the class and need to say things from there, and that's just it. When we need to get out from the class, from the classroom, we make it like one by one. They will call your number and you will go to the class.
Marcos, could you repeat, please, this last part? I think he's having some trouble. Matilde, maybe you could talk to us about this situation.
Yeah, we're having some connection issues, but
No, it's okay. Don't worry, guys.
that's for the better. So what Marcos was saying is that when we want to leave the classroom, for example, at the end of the class, the teachers do it one by one. So we have an alphabetic order of the students, and they call one by one, and we leave by that order. It's the exact same for getting in, one by one. Everyone has to disinfect their hands on the way in and the way out. We also have to disinfect our tables and the supplies that we use.
Yeah, I think it's a good question because it's expensive, you know, like all of the technology that people gotta use and stuff. So I was thinking that maybe it's not working, you know, all around and stuff. But I would like to call Manu.
Hi.
So how is it going, you know, the college stuff, school stuff?
So here in Brazil, we're still kind of in lockdown since March. We're still not having classes like in person. We are having like distance classes, but it's kind of controversial because the restaurants are opening the public parks, but not the school. So I don't know when we're going to get back. Things are kind of like odd here now. The numbers started to going down, but then it is starting to like to going up again. So it's kind of scary. We're kind of like in a verge of having a second wave of infection. But things are, I don't know, kind of odd, you know.
Yeah, I think we're dealing with a whole different, you know, situation because we're still at home. We are not going back to school soon, you know, I think. And it's really complicated. It's a complicated situation. And maybe we don't even know how to react to that, you know. And that's kind of scary. That's really scary because do you guys feel safe at home or maybe at school? You know, I don't feel safe anywhere. What about you, Laura?
I actually don't, because I can see people touching, you know, and everything. It's really weird because when I see my family, my first thought is to hug them and touch them, but I can't, you know, because then like a thought comes rushing, like, oh no, you know, you could have COVID, you could be, you know, with no symptoms, and you could infect them. So yeah, I don't feel safe.
Exactly. Yeah. What about you, Marcos?
Well, it's the same for most that we try to feel safe at home, and we are always trying to wash things and trying to clean. Of course, we know that we are not immune at all of this virus. So, yeah, I don't really feel safe even at home, and not at school as well. Even that we are.
Some trouble again, but it's okay, Marcus. Don't worry. Malvina? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, so I'm sorry. Is it?
You are,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think I would say, for the most part, I do feel safe, like personally for myself. But sometimes I worry about like other people. So when I think about, oh, like I don't think I might be in danger. I think if I get it and I don't know about it, I might be putting other people in danger. I mean, I don't have any, like, my grandparents don't live in the country, so I don't have to worry too much about that for the most part, since there aren't any people around me who are, like, at a high risk, but I'd still rather be safe.
Yeah, exactly. And we are talking about the vaccines, and it's kind of a difficult thing to think about. But Manu, what do you think about that? And what do you think that the government is doing in order to, deal with the whole situation?
So regarding the vaccines, the president of Brazil, he announced that vaccination won't be mandatory, going actually against what specialists are saying. So he went on TV to say that it won't be mandatory, but there is still no way of knowing, because it seems like uncertain future, because vaccines were supposed to be ready like in October and like this month, but we don't know yet. So now regarding the government, I don't know how much you guys know about Brazil's situation, but we are actually in the middle of a political crisis that was not necessarily caused by the pandemic, but it was indeed worsened by it. So the measures taken are more like a political and ideological stance, more than like a genuine concern about the health crisis. So
Yeah, exactly. So we have some new guests here. I would like to call Joshua from Trinidad and Tobago. Where is Joshua? Hi, Joshua. I think there's some trouble with the connection, but we still have Mayar from Kenya. Is she there? Well, we can keep talking about other things while they try to connect and stuff. So I would like to say at this, like talking about the government measures and stuff. I don't know what's happening all around the world, but Laura, would you like to say something?
Yes, I don't want to get too political about it, because there are obviously different opinions. But in Spain, the situation is that we don't have one government. Like, the government is made up of two parties, so it's quite like we don't. Whenever they have to make a decision, it's kind of unstable. So, for example, 2 weeks ago, they said that we were going to enter like an alarm phase. So that meant that Madrid was going to be closed, completely closed. No one could enter or leave. And then the next day they said that that wasn't going to happen. That was illegal, or something like that. And that kind of stopped being true. So it's kind of unstable. So we don't know what's going to happen at all. Right now we are in the alarm phase. So I can't. I live in the suburbs of Madrid, so I can go to the center, but only for school. Like, all my friends live in the center, but I can't see them outside of school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think it's something that we can just ignore, like the government measures, what it's happening. political system, it affects everything because of the pandemic situation. It just explodes, so we got to talk about that. What about Luxembourg, Malvina?
I think because it's such a small country, like the situation's a bit different. So all the schools follow the same thing, and it's not like that there are like any areas that are not banned, that are blocked from people. So let's say, because I don't live in the city, which is more or less where my school is, I live quite a bit outside, but I go in and I can go around and do whatever. I think the situation is quite different here. It's not like a lot of other places, because it's like it's such a small country. I mean, the population's like 690,000 people, which is nothing compared to some of these other countries. So
Yeah, but things are going well, like you're going back. I think compared to Brazil, some things are just, oh my God, it's, really interesting. And Matilde, I saw that Portugal is like going back to some previous stages, so would you like to talk to us about that a little bit?
So currently we're facing a second wave of infection, which is incredibly scary. We're reaching infection numbers that we have never, not even during lockdowns. So we're up to more than 2,000 cases a day. And something that the government is trying to do is that they're trying to force us, let's say, to have an app that is supposed to control us. It's very controversial because basically we have this app that controls our movements, so where we go and everything through our location. And if we test positive, we enter a code on the app, and that will notify the people that were around us at some point that they were in contact with someone that is COVID positive. So that's currently what the government is trying to do. But everything else, it's pretty much the same. School is it's going just like it was. Social activities as well. Everything is just the same. The thing is that now we're facing a second wave. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I really thought that you guys would like stay at home, and things were gonna change, but I didn't know that it's still happening, like everything is still happening. You're still, having contact and things like that. We have a new guest. It's Yan from Kenya. I don't know if it's working. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. So,
Yeah.
is everything okay? Could you introduce yourself to us?
Okay, my name is Ian Gunga, and I'm from St. Austin's Academy, which is a school here in Nairobi, Kenya. Yes. So we're discussing online school and how it's been affecting us. So I'd say here in Kenya, it wouldn't be the best option because it's not working out for most people here in Kenya. So I am in an international school. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. You can keep going.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm in an international school, so I have the privilege to have access to many things that public schools in Kenya don't have. So usually people in international schools are more well off than other people. So I have the privilege of having a laptop, stable connection. But for the 95% of Kenyan students who take public schooling, it's not the most effective or efficient way. For most of the Kenyan population, it lives in rural areas, which are far off from the main grid. So it's not the best option to have online school. So it's been going on for a long time for us, but not very much for other Kenyan students. So in my the system and the school that the okay if I okay I don't want to explain the whole system, but we had our previous school term between April and July. During that time, the government used television to help students learn, and that kind of worked, but it wasn't the most effective way because you couldn't have proper interaction in real time with the teacher. Anyway, so moving on to this term, which was between September going on to December, Kenyan students have not learned at all. Well, some schools are opening, some have opened, but only for some specific grades. So education has slowed down, and things, okay, politically, people are talking about having to redo, for students to redo a whole year of education from what they've missed out on. But things are opening up slowly, and hopefully things will reach the way they are. But I personally don't feel that online school is the best option, but we still have to cope with the way things are right now. So it seems like it could be the only option, but things should improve here.
Thank you so much. I think you brought up some really important questions, like really important points. We have to think about our privilege. I am really privileged too. So there are situations that we can't even imagine sometimes. I was reading this week that a group of religious people of Kenya, they were like talking about how there must be some dialogue some national dialogue in order to, think about the situation. There were many conflicts that are, starting popping up, and maybe you could talk to us about that a little bit.
Okay, by conflicts, by what you mean, I think you're probably talking about tribalism or corruption here in Kenya. Those are political problems that have been going on for a long time, and they've been holding our country back. So corruption-wise, okay, how it affects the pandemic can also affect schooling. So corruption here in Kenya is not very good. Billions of shillings, for contrast, 100 shillings is $1. Billions of shillings are stolen each year by leaders, which is a huge problem. So an example of a ripple effect which could affect schooling here is how money has been given to Kenya in loans and in grants by different countries to help fight the pandemic. Some of this money goes to helping connect people to the grid and helping people, cope with the pandemic. So money stolen from there, and some money has to be removed from schooling in order to fill in for the other things that the money has, like, has been not been prior has been prioritized on. So I think those are the fights that you're talking about or trying to bring out, because those are what have been affecting schooling here in Kenya since the pandemic started.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. I didn't know about many of the things that you said, and I think we must, talk about these things, and try to start a conversation about that, because it's really important. And we have Faith with us too, and I would like to call her. Is she here? Hello.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm fine too. We're just talking about the whole pandemic situation and mostly about schools. So, would you like to talk to us about your opinions and maybe what you think about technology and classes coming back, going back to school, things like that?
I don't really enjoy online learning. I find it very difficult because of concentration and also my siblings, the distraction around the house. And going back to school, I think it would be better, but also hard for people who'll be doing checkpoint. It would be hard for them for the concentration and the learning again to get back on track.
Yeah. Do you think you would feel safe going back to school?
Not really, because
Yeah, exactly.
someone can kidnap me on my way to school, and we don't know really what will happen.
Yeah, that's really tough. What about you, Yun? Do you think it would be really difficult? Do you think you would feel safe?
Okay, opening school, however fun it may be thinking about it, we have to realize that it's pretty unpractical for children because I can guarantee you it'll be hard for me to social distance with my friends when I'm at school, keep a face mask on, eating without sharing. There's some things that you'll have to miss out on, which makes school, school, because socializing is part of school. If you don't have socializing, but you're meant to keep social distance, schooling will be different because you're missing out on one of the aspects that makes schooling. So I wouldn't feel safe, and I also wouldn't feel in the right place if I was at school, because first of all, you already have the in mind you have that there's a pandemic going around and all these rules which you have to follow, and some of them interfere with what schooling is. So I wouldn't feel safe at school.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about, this whole new contact, human contact that we're facing, and many of us think that it's gonna be changed forever, It's not going back the way it was. So maybe you could talk to us about that too.
So opening up to a new world, that's an interesting topic. So opening up. So of course we would have to maintain some of the rules for a while before things completely calm down. So transferring, I think, would be okay, because it'll have to happen. Because well, of course, when we open schools, we will have to be careful, and this will be hard for children. But the people I feel most pity for are young children, because you're still making friends, you're learning to socialize, learning life really. So it'll be harder for them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I have a 7-year-old nephew, and he like is going back to school now wearing masks, and he just can't, go and hug his friends. So it's really difficult because you said that socializing is like one of the main points of school, of this whole human contact and stuff. We have some questions from the people that are watching us on YouTube. Let me see. Maybe you could discuss some of the solution teachers and schools found to keep teaching on a different reality. Were they really effective? Okay, so would someone like to talk about that topic? Do you guys think that there are teachers and schools that are trying to, create this new reality and trying to improve that human contact and stuff?
I guess I can answer that from my point of view. Um, for me, it's kind of like a difficult situation for me because I'm on my last year and I have to take a test which will determine whether I will or won't enter the university. So, but the teachers, they are doing everything they can in their power to try to teach in a convenient way for them. I know they are recording videos and doing podcasts, and they're going like out of their way to do try to do something different for, I don't know, like finding different medias uh, to teach that are not like convenient.
Would someone else like to talk about that? Do you think like your school is, being effective while doing all the technology stuff or going back?
I think I can add to that. For example, in my school, I mean, yeah, I don't know about public schools in Spain. I feel privileged because we have a laptop and everything. So, for example, whenever one of the students shows a symptom, we have to stay at home. And what teachers do is that they record the lesson and then they send it. But I honestly think that for some students, they may be like, it's more boring to look at, in the internet. You can't ask questions, and it's not very productive. But what teachers do in my school during lessons is that we use, for example, online games or something to apply it to our knowledge or what we're learning.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe Malvina could talk to us about that, because she's actually going back to school, and it's really different from some of us.
Yeah, I mean, I think the school was trying to so while we were during the quarantines, because we had quarantine for a couple of months from March to the end of the school year, and we came back in September. And during that, the school they tried to set it wasn't very well set up during the quarantine. There were some teachers who just didn't set up their classes properly, teachers setting them up on different platforms and not communicating properly. But I think the school was still when we came back, trying to incorporate some of the technological elements from the quarantine. So before this, we never had they never even suggested bring your computers, laptops, whatever. But this year they suggested it, and they were supposed to do a whole they were supposed to have planned it out a bit more, but it's sort of it's not working as well as it should, in my opinion. Some of the teachers don't even understand the project. Most students just don't bring their devices in. So I think it's a weird situation.
Yeah, exactly. I think many teachers are having a really tough time, while trying to deal with the technology stuff. So it's pretty interesting. We gotta see that there's a whole different structure all over the world. So here in Brazil, there are private schools, and I think they're dealing quite well with the situation. But public schools otherwise are, collapsing and stuff. So I think we have a new guest here. I don't know if that's right. She's from Kenya. I don't know if she's here. She is. I don't know if she's having connection problems, but if she wants to introduce herself, I don't know. Yeah, I think she's having connection problems. Yeah, so I think we talked about a bunch of things, maybe some final reflections and stuff. I could start with Jan, please. Some final reflection about this whole pandemic situation.
Okay, so quick summary. So life has been hard. Things have been different, and we really want things to change, but we know it's gonna take some time for the process and the situation to improve. But right now, especially for us who are here and privileged enough to have this, we should take advantage of it and use it well. Because I know online school is hard, difficult, and annoying, but we are part of the few who have access to it. And I guess we should pray and hope that this spreads on to other people and that the pandemic situation improves.
Yeah. Maybe we could talk to Faith.
I'm having some technical difficulties and I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, it's okay. No, we are just doing a brief reflection about the whole situation, the pandemic situation, and what are your feelings about it? Maybe some solutions, maybe, I don't know, your opinions.
Oh, okay. I find it very difficult because now most things are online and there might be pedophiles out there and so much is going on right now. So someone could like randomly text someone and ask them to send the picture of their face, and it's quite scary. And children at the age of 5, for them it's not really easy for them to learn online, because I have a sister who's trying to learn online, but it's very difficult for her, and she's not quite understanding the way we understand. And it has, for the teacher, the materials that they need, it's quite hard than when we were going to school physically. Yeah.
Exactly. Manu?
So I mean, life is hard, as Ian said. The situation, no one was expecting this to happen. It's kind of like something uh, without like precedent. But I think we're managing this the best way we can. At least I know we're trying to. I realized that I'm in Brazil in a position of privilege. So I study in private school, but the majority of Brazilian students don't, and they don't have access to like a stable connection or like technology. So this is a problem here in Brazil, especially like when it comes to the process of entering universities. So we're not having the same opportunities, you know. So that's kind of like a huge problem here. But I guess we, as a whole, the school is trying to manage it in the best way it can, you know, finding new opportunities and new ways.
Yeah. So things are opening here in Brazil. I don't know if you guys know about it, but you know, life is coming back and stuff, but
Yeah.
we're still dealing with lots of cases, you know, people are still getting really sick. And so, Manu, are you staying at home or are you like going out and stuff, socializing?
No, I try to stay at home the maximum I can. You know, for me, life hasn't like got back to the way it was. Um, Things are actually trying to like, you know, beginning to come back to normal, but we're still like away from school. So this is like uh, a huge part of my life, school. So I'm at home the whole week, and I try to maintain social distance the best way I can. You know.
Yeah, I think it's like something really small, but we're doing what we have to do, you know, staying at home and things like that. So, Laura, some reflections, maybe more opinions.
So I think that obviously this is a very difficult situation. I think that we should all just not think about ourselves only, so just think about improving the situation. In Spain, I'm talking about Spain, I don't especially know what's going on in other countries, but in Spain, I see in the news that there are parties and, so I don't know how people, can go to parties. I read that there was a party, in Manchester, of people that only people with COVID could enter, which seems a little bit insane. So yeah, I think that we should not think about ourselves only to improve the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that too, and it was really shocking. And it was like, what's happening here? Like, there are some people that really don't realize how, you know, the impact that they have on other people's lives and stuff. Malvina?
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I think there are still people definitely like going out, especially in Luxembourg. Like I see people really going back at their like their usual schedules of last year, which is how quite a few people got sick actually. But at the same time, there's also people who are avoiding like going out, and if they go out, it's in private places where it's only with like a select group of people that they know are COVID negative. So like it really depends. Like I've been hanging out with my friends, but like in their houses or in my house where I know that they're negative and I'm negative, and it's like safe, you know, and we're not like, well, it's not a lot of people, it's a limited amount of people. But there are definitely some people who aren't really taking it seriously and are just going out with their friends, doing whatever.
Exactly. Matilde?
So, getting what Malvina said, I think that a lot of people are actually not that conscious about this and are not aware of what exactly happens if the situation we're in gets even worse. So I think this has to be a group effort by everyone, not just a few of us that are concerned and take the precautions. Yeah, just it needs to be a group effort.
Yeah, exactly. It affects all of us, right? And maybe Marcos could talk to us. I don't know if he can. He was having some problems. Yeah. No, it's okay, guys. There is someone that would like to talk to us, I guess. She's from Kenya too. I don't know if she can. I don't know if she's having some connection problems, but hi.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm good.
So I'm really sorry that we're just like out of time, almost out of time, but maybe you could talk to us a little bit about your perspective related to the pandemic situation, going back to school or studying online.
Yeah, so first, like it's been difficult and you can't really trust anybody now because you don't know whether they're positive or negative. So it's better to keep yourself like secure. And for school, I don't really know because the teachers don't know how concentrating, how much the students are involved in the class. So maybe the students might be doing something else as the teacher is teaching. So like it's not really good because it's not flowing and there's internet issues. Not everybody can access the class because not everybody has devices at home. Yeah. And for going back to school, I don't think we'll social distance because everybody's there. You know, you have not seen your friends in a long time. And then you just start hugging each other. And so it's not really going to work out. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Jan was talking to us about, how the education system is affected by many factors, and it's a really difficult situation. It's really tough for all of us, but of course there are many problems that are, more intensive than others and things like that. But if someone would like to talk to us about some reflections, I think it would be okay too. But I guess that's our little conversation, and I learned a lot, really. And I'm gonna read more about all of these situations, all of these countries and things, because it's really different. We're all living the same thing, but according to different perspectives, different systems. And I think that's it. Thank you very much, guys. We're talking for an hour.